All right, fourth grade, it is time for math. Again, I'm doing the video like this because I want you to see my work really clearly and focus on that mostly. So yesterday we learned about the area of a rectangle and how to find that. And if you remember correctly, the formula for the area of the rectangle would be A equals length times width, correct? Yes. So we're going to learn how to find the area of a square. Now you can open up in your book to page number 289. I am just doing the example from the lesson box, so you can follow along if you want right now, or you can just watch and then open your book in a minute. So the area of a square can be found with this formula by multiplying one side times another side, or the same number, because remember, a square is the same length here and the same length here. So the sides are all equal. So really we're just going to do 8 times 8 is what we're doing. So if I were to use this formula, my formula is the area equals side times side. So it's really just doing what you do in the area of the rectangle, because remember, if the rectangle was like this and this was 10, you would do 10 times 8 to get your area of a rectangle. But since it's not, it's a square, we're still doing the same concept. There's just not two different numbers. So since both sides, even if you know one side, even if you did not know this one, if it's a square, you know that this side is 8 units, this side is 8 units, and this side is 8 units. So therefore, you only need to know one side, the length of one side, to be able to find the area of a square. So if we fill in our blanks, so one side equals 8, which means every other side equals 8. So we have 8 equals 8 times 8, or our area equals 8 times 8. So our area is 64. Do you remember what our special unit is? It's not just units, it's square units. Okay, so it's pretty easy. If you got the rectangle down, it's not going to be difficult to do the area of a square. So what we're going to do is some practice now. So you definitely need to open up your book to page number 289 and have a pencil ready to go. Pause, go. Okay, so I am on 1A, section 1, letter A, and we are going to practice this together. I just said a couple minutes ago that if you know the length of one side, you can find the area of that square because all of the other sides are the same. So copy down the formula with me. A equals S times S. Okay? Now we're going to fill in A equals 9 times 9 because S equals 9. The sides are all 9 inches. Okay? So then we have just A equals 9 times 9 is 81. Now it's not 81 inches, it's 81 square inches. I think finding the area of a square is super easy. All right, the next one, our side is 8 feet. So we start always by writing down our formula as we have it memorized. A equals S times S, okay, or side times, area equals side times side. One of our sides is 8 feet, which means all other sides are 8 feet. So we copy down A equals 8 times 8. And then 8 times 8 is what? 64. So A equals 64, not feet, it is square feet. Okay, pretty basic, not too hard. It's just simple multiplication with your double multiplication. Okay, and then finally 1C, S equals 13 feet. So one side or all of the sides all are 13 feet long. So write down your formula first. A equals S times S, or area equals side times side. Fill in the S's because we do know what the S's equal. 13 times 13. I don't have this memorized. I should. So I'm going to do a little side math up here. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 13. 6. 169. So A equals 169 what? What's my unit going to be? Each side is 13 feet long, but it's not just 169 feet. It's 169 square foot. Okay, there you go. So it's pretty basic. You are going to finish the last 3 under there, so you can pause the video and do them right now while it's all fresh in your brain, or you can wait until I'm done and do everything in one big swoop. We're going to move down to number 2. I want to do one of these with you, okay? To review our area from yesterday, it says find the area, use the formula A equals length times width. When the word by is used with the dimensions, the width is given first, okay? So the length is always the longer dimension, right? So when it says 4 foot by 6 foot, 4 foot is the width and the length is 6 foot. And I will show you what we mean by that. Okay, so we have right now, we need to find the area of this rectangle, and it's giving us the dimensions. Now, if you've ever built anything, it's going to give you the dimensions like that, okay? So the width always will come first, and that's this one. And 6 is a little longer, so that's our length. So a lot of times I will sketch out a little rectangle like that to wrap my mind around it. So I know the length is 6 feet and the width is 4 feet, okay? And I'm not writing the units because it's up here, so I'm not going to forget. I'm just doing this in my mind, which means I can go ahead. My formula is what? A equals length, area equals length times width. So my length is what? 6 feet. And my width is 4 feet. Okay, so my area is 24. Ooh, I almost messed up. It's not 24 feet, it's 24 square feet. Okay, now there's going to be certain points in your life where you can just do this in your head. I actually got this answer in my head right away because I knew, and I have memorized for years and years, that this is the formula, that I'm always going to be multiplying the length times the width. So right in my head, I know it's 6 times 4 is 24. So I knew that my area is 24 square feet. Now, whenever you get into B and D, it's going to be harder because that's not mental math. But if you can do mental math like this, challenge yourself while you're getting in the habit, and I'm going to make you do this in 5th grade. You're always going to write down the formula as well, because that's how you memorize it, so that whenever you're in Mrs. Schaefer's class in high school, or whoever else's class that you are in high school, you don't even have to think about this. This is old news, okay? So we're working on memorizing this this year and next year. So that's why you copy it down every single time. All right, so just while you're looking at this, you can either finish the next 2 problems, 2B and 2C, right now. Pause the video and do that while it's fresh in your brain, or you can wait. I want you to cross out number 3. Okay, that's hard to do because I know not everybody has rulers. So if you want to challenge yourself to do number 3, that's fine. Go ahead. But that is not a part of your homework. You are only finishing number 1 and 2 on this page. All right, I want you to turn over to page number 290 because I do want to review our formulas right here. Okay, I'm all the way down at number 9, all the way at the bottom. And it wants you to give the different formulas. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to think of it in your head, if you want to write it down somewhere here so that you can guess like you did with language the other day, and see if you have all 4 of these memorized or not. If not, that's fine, okay? So the area of the square, go ahead and think about what the area of the square formula is. All right, your area of the square is A, shows area, equals side times side. Okay, go ahead and make sure you have that copied down correctly. That's your area of the square. Letter B, the perimeter of a square. So remember our perimeter, I'll give you a hint, it always starts with a P to stand for perimeter. This is from last week, I think. Go ahead and see if you can figure it out. Okay, your perimeter, this is probably the hardest one that you have, is 2 times your length plus, I'm running out of room, 2 times your width. That is the, oh, I'm sorry, actually, nope, that's not the right formula. Perimeter of a square, I apologize, is, I'm thinking rectangle. The square is 4 times your side. 4 times S, because you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why. So 4 times your S. My apologies. I guess I don't have these memorized well enough. Okay, your area of the rectangle. Okay, your area of the rectangle is starting with an A. So area equals length times width. Okay, that's what we just did in our last practice problem. And finally, the perimeter of the rectangle, which I already did. Go ahead and see if you can remember it. Your perimeter of a rectangle is P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Okay, so there you go. There's those answers. Now, one last thing. Turn over to page number 291. I just want you to look at these really fast, these square measures up here, okay? These are things you need to memorize. 144 square inches equals 1 square foot. Okay, and 9 square feet equals 1 square yard, and I'll show you why, okay? Let's look over here. I'm going to do a little sketching. Okay, so this is my square. If I have, it says 144 square inches equals 1 square foot. How many inches are in a foot? 12. So if I have 12 inches times 12 inches, I have 1 foot this way and 1 foot that way, okay? So it's 1 foot, 1 foot. So whenever I divide this by all these tiny and multiply, 12 times 12 is 144. So if the area in inches is 144 square inches, because 12 times 12 is 144, then this is also 1 foot, because 12 inches is the same as 1 foot. And 1 times 1 equals 1 square foot, right? So that's why it's that. And it's the same thing with your square, your 9 square inches and your square yard, okay? So if I have, make sure I'm clear on that one. If I have, how many feet are in a yard? 3 feet, right? So if I'm finding the area here, 3 times 3 is 9, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this would be 9 square feet. But same thing, 3 feet equals what? 1 yard and 1 yard. So if we do this area formula with 1 yard times 1 yard, we get our area equals 1 square yard. So that's why those square measurements are the way they are, okay? So you need to memorize these, and also you're going to copy some of them down in the practice below, but also review some of your other measurements. So circle these measurements so that you memorize them in your head, because it will be helpful to know later on. Okay, that's everything.